We tend to think that we choose our clothes, but do we really? Style is never neutral, but always about context. What style is for me? It is a way a person uses their clothing, hairstyle, makeup, perfume, accessories, and so on to stay comfortable and appropriate in different lifestyle situations. So, in this definition, I mentioned two layers: context of a situation and comfort level. If we lived the same lifestyles, our style wouldn't differ a lot, probably. Our differences become our visual representation. So it makes our style deeply personal on the inner level and deeply contextual on the outer level. So, style works as a dialogue with the world, because with our clothes and with our posture and with some other details of how we move, smile, and represent ourselves, we are saying something to the world. And the world responds, sometimes with silence, sometimes with compliments, and sometimes with judgment. Most cultural rules are so simple that we just fully stop noticing them in our daily life. For example, we don't consider much following gender roles, season changes, modesty level expectations, and some professional dress codes. Here a small disclaimer comes. I'm intentionally not talking much about some deeper level of context, for example, religious restrictions or some governmental restrictions based on the cultural rules. This will be left probably for another video. Today we're just talking on the average about how culture differs and how it improves or changes our style. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned some style tips to elevate your looks, even if you cannot afford something extra or just don't see any point for yourself in such spendings. That's one more side of a cultural context level between expectations and affordability. Historically, clothing wasn't always about just functionality, but even the simplest garments were decorated from ancient times, not for comfort, but for meaning. Over time, clothes began to signal some belonging to social layer, wealth, or other statuses like profession. Today, after decades of economical shifts, crises, some subcultures born and raised and going down, trends changes, and as well as lifestyle and the speed of our life. There are no universal rules left, just personal context. Today, personal style is no longer about following trends, but it is about visibility, personalization, and becoming outstanding. As I've been living in different countries and traveled a lot too, I observed actively how culture impacts people's way of dressing, presenting themselves, and styling, of course, for different countries, regions, and seasons, as well as some circumstances. That's why I created StyledByCulture project, a short-form playlist project here on YouTube, where I observed how different cultures dress and how their contexts shape their dressing manners. For example, I share what is the main dressing color in Georgia, not a state, but a separate country. And spoiler alert, what is the most used women accessory in Italy during summer? All these observations led me to understanding what norms I would like to follow and what norms I bring from my perspective to my style. Once you know the rules, you know how to play with them, how to use them or break them in case of experiments. This understanding is what all my work now grows from style analysis to cultural projects and visual storytelling. In the next videos, I'm going to talk about how aesthetics taste is trained and formed, and is it a trainable skill at all, and also how cultural codes change how we present ourselves and read others. So subscribe to the channel and please share your thoughts about how you present your culture in your wardrobe on a daily basis. Thank you for staying here with me today, and have a great day. Bye!